Hello game hunters, I'm Neolus and I'm a little bit frustrated. I've been wanting to record this video all day, but my neighbors have been camping outside, making noise all day, so I've been waiting it out. They're still going at it, it's 11 PM, but they're petering out, so it's fine, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. So what I'm doing today is I wanted to do a collab with a guy named GSArt at Goku Style Dash on Twitter, and we were going back and forth on what we could do. And I was thinking back on something I used to do on DeviantArt. There was this guy named Destructo Kid who made these awesome sketches on paper and then uploaded them to DeviantArt. What I would do is digitally ink his drawings, and then sometimes I would color them as well. I proposed him making a sketch, and I would finish the line art and do the coloring, which is what I'll be showing today. And then we weren't sure on what we would draw, so I suggested doing Cumber versus Broly, and then came the question, which version of Broly, and he said we should use Dragon Ball Super Broly because classic Broly doesn't stand a chance against Cumber, which is right, But anyway, I'm gonna do the commentary. I already recorded the video of me finishing the art piece. The video was 10 hours long, but I've reduced it to about 15 minutes, and now I will play it back and give my commentary on how it went and what is going on, and I hope you enjoy. So, let's get started. So the first thing you'll see me do here is I have a specific size for images. They're nice and big, so I put it in there, enlarge it, and then widen it so the entire image fits in there. And then I put it on about 70% opacity so that I can see my lines nicely in contrast with the sketch. And then I instantly start on the eyes. This is always the first thing I do. Doing some editing already. And then here I draw the muscles really quick just to see how things are flowing. Now, since this was a collaboration, I didn't want to impede too much, so to speak, on his art style. I wanted to keep as much of his art style in there as possible. So I didn't want to edit too much, but I will crack eventually, you'll see that happen. So right here I'm working on the sash and the side. It's not looking good, and I forgot the rips of the pants, so I redraw that. So here I get bothered by the glove. I didn't know why, and I thought the arch was wrong, so I put a Cumber hand in there, and I noticed I was right. It was a tiny stupid thing, but it was bothering me, so I put a hand there just to check. And then I started to have my first trouble here with the hand. It wasn't looking like I wanted it, and I cracked, so I erased the inside of the hand, tried, gave up, and came back to it later. The next part that I didn't quite like was this arm. You'll see that soon. Yeah, redrawing the knuckles a couple times here. Yes, the question mark. So I start going over the hair while I'm thinking of what I'm gonna do with that hand. I ended up resketching the hand myself, and that seemed to work. I did use the hand that I put there as a reference, then I make it a little bit smaller and do some edit work here to make it look a little bit better. It wasn't perfect, but I didn't want to change too much of the original art. You see with Broly here, the lines weren't centered in the face, so I fixed that real quick. There wasn't too much of a change. And I also have issue with his arm. Even the finished work, I'm not 100% happy with it, but yeah, see here, I thought it was too long, so I tried to shorten it, and I was literally thinking, I don't want to change this guy's art. He put effort in the sketch, and eventually I am cracking, and changing it to be more like I think it should be. But it's still not perfect. I mean, I'm not a professional artist, so what the fuck do I know, right? So you'll see me trying to shorten it here, and I just moved Broly forward a little bit without moving the hand itself. It looked a little bit better to me, so I didn't change anything after that on the hand itself, but I will change something a little bit later on, you'll notice. Unlike with the Broly I did in the previous video, I did do most of the coloring like I used to do it with the lasso tool, going all over the line art and then just filling it in. I still had a lot of trouble with my program slowing down, but I just saved my work and then closed it and opened it again, and it was fine. So I had to do a lot of opening and closing, which is why the video was so long in the first place. As you'll notice, I have two examples, two references in the bottom there of Cumber and Broly, and I am taking the colors from there, stealing them basically. And as I'm coloring this, I'm really happy how it's starting to turn out, especially Cumber. I was really happy with how Cumber was turning out. Broly, not so much. I was only happy at the very end when he was finished. He needed to have all his different shadings to look good, in my opinion. With Cumber, I was already happy how he looked with only one shading on top of his flat colors. So here you see me increasing the shoulder size because I thought it was a little bit too small and his arm looked a little bit thin, so I widened part of it, and now it looks like a really big muscular arm. Also put a scar on his shoulder because I didn't notice he had one. I think in my previous one, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I added that in. Then I put a little bit more detail on Cumber's mask here, and I'm really starting to like how he's looking. To fill a bit of the void of silence, I wanted to explain why I chose Broly versus Cumber, but to be honest, there's not much of a story there. It's just I really like Cumber, the way he looks. He's a big muscular character, and Broly, same reason. He's a big muscular character, and I like big muscular characters. Especially Cumber recently, I don't know why. There's just something about him that speaks to me. Broly, I liked Broly for a very long time. I still have a whole backlog of Broly figurines to unbox, and I need to get to that real quick. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just I like these characters. Design-wise, I prefer classic Broly, but I don't dislike the new one. I still like it. I'm starting to do the third shading here. There's a lot of small parts that I color in which you don't even see at on the end result, and I'll start doing that even more with the final shading, but I do it anyway because it makes it look a little better. I'm not 100% happy with the arm shading here on the end result. I was having a little bit of trouble placing all of the shading. Like I said, I'm not a professional artist, so I still have trouble with the lighting and where it should go, but I'm trying, I'm doing my best here. Also, the tail was not originally in the sketch. I added that in because the reference I used of Cumber had his tail, and I do know Cumber loses his tail eventually, but I don't think with his full mask he loses his tail there. I think he only loses his tail when his mask is broken. So I just wanted to have that in there, I guess. You probably noticed I switched between using the lasso tool and just coloring shit in. Like here, I just used the brush to fill some parts in because I think it's easier for smaller parts or parts that are just round or something like that. And then I also switched between drawing the lines beforehand and just using the line tool on itself to draw the lines that I want to fill in. I also zoom in a lot, which is not a good thing to do when you want to see the full picture. You see I'm zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, and that results in some parts not being as I want them to be because I can't see the overall picture, right? But it works out. In here, like I said, I had trouble with the lighting and tried some various things with his arm, didn't like it and just said fuck it, I'll leave it like it was before. And then I start on Broly shading here. Broly was very simple. It was just his top half of his body, an arm, a piece of his chest and his face. So I had almost no trouble with this one. There's one part right above the shoulder that I'm not 100% on the end result. But at this point I was already working on this for like maybe 7 hours. So I decided to just leave it like it was. And with Broly's here, I noticed that as I was coloring it, the front was very light and then the back was getting really dark. So I added these little triangles to make it look like there's a little bit more light coming that way. Like, hair is difficult to color, man. But I do like how it all came together in the end. You see here, I'm adding this very small dark shading details, and sometimes I even put them in places where it's not really necessary, but it does make the overall picture come out better. Like I said, it's not perfect, but I like it the way it is. I still have a lot to learn, and doing a lot of these pieces improve my skills, so I will keep doing it. After Cumber was done, I took the darkest shade of Broly and I thought that's really dark compared to Cumber, and I wasn't sure if I should continue it, but then I do it anyway. I said, fuck it, I can still delete that layer. I'll just look how it looks in the end. So I finished doing the final shade, then I zoomed out and I was surprised at how well it looked next to Cumber. So I left it like it was and I started on the hair. And same thing with the hair, I thought the final shading was very dark, but when you finish, it all comes together very nicely, to be honest. And then finally I add the lightest part, like a dim light. And then I get lazy and just add in the same background that I used for my anime war pictures. Just the craggy rocks and the blue sky. So that's the end result. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I did enjoy making it. It was very long, 10 hours in total, which seems a little bit longer than it should be, but I did have to restart the program a lot. I took a lot of breaks during it as well. I didn't do this in one day. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make more of this kind of art. If you want to do collabs, it doesn't necessarily have to be art collabs. It can be anything, to be honest. I just want to do collaboration videos on my channel. I also have the unboxing going on and the speed builds, the model kits. I am working on the Asuna video right now. It will be up very soon. Also check out GSArt at GokuStyle- on Twitter. He made this awesome sketch and I'm happy to have worked with him. I hope I did credit to his art style. It was a very nice little project of mixing my own style with his and see what will come of it. Anyway, that's it. Be sure to leave a comment, like the video if you liked it, don't like it if you didn't like it, whatever. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye.